Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Saucy McFoodlefist, and today we are playing The Letter. In the last one, well, Luke might be a suspect in the murders, and that's really all we know, so let's get started, shall we? Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already I dread the pain I'll have from sleeping in such a position. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Uh-oh. It's these two again.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Now that I can get much sleep to begin with. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Because honestly, I've been feeling like this.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Though moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the right mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on the client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my exasperation and Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they've buried her body, 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I've wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites way past their honeymoon phase. And I've somehow roped into being a relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But, if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best source of relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk and answer to the best of my abilities. Without realizing it, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I had thought were long gone. I'd like to believe my words will be some sort of help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest, though, they are of some help to me, like some weight have been taken off my shoulders. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay in chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's time I change that.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead, I shouldn't just callously forget about them too. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see me as someone so obsessed with her craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry around here and there in preparation for the Wright's grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their own appointed rules and not daring to slack off while they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Luxbourne. I make it into the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, the professional interior designer, when I choose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy, but it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I've been actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face the worst nightmare, or I might see nothing, and I find myself imagine grand quests fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally?
Schnell! Hurry up, you snails! We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time!
The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others, people who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trap door. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness and beyond.
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
The look he gives me, excuse me, I'm yawning. The look he gives me as he says this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be a true neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity.
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place. So, just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble. Both the bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe that is a sign I'm not meant to see Lorraine out. But...
Please, I just lost something the last time I was down there. It's really important.
15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself. The bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
He steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. The space feels smaller, with more bottles lining the walls compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. I almost hope, in a morbid, twisted sense, that Lorraine would be just standing there waiting for me. Hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick so I can turn on my Do Not Disturb. Alright, we're back. It would be just like her to joke about an inappropriate meeting in the dark, secluded areas. But just like the broken bottles and wine that was spilled on the ground before, no trace of her can be found.
Lorraine! Where are you, Lorraine? I miss you, you know?
So this is what happened in the last episode, the one that we lost. This Lorraine person is the one who appeared to Marianne in the cellars. Only silence replies. Funny that when you want to find something, that's the time when you can't. The thought that I wouldn't be able to see Lorraine one last time fills me with such despair. Sure, it was crazy to come here willingly in the first place, but all I'm really looking for is closure. And if I can't see her, the least I can do is offer her a prayer. On the verge of tears, I kneel in the middle of the dark, damp wine cellar and put my hands together for a prayer.
May God grant her eternal rest and...
That is when laughter fills the air. It rings along the walls until it echoes in my head. And like a siren song, it draws me in before it comes to a stop upon reaching a dead end.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look! This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
A secret entrance, although the idea in and of itself is inane, only makes this entire endeavor even more perilous, but I need to find a way to open it. Already I'm running my hands against the wall in order to find some sort of hidden switch. It didn't give when I tried to push it open before, and I doubt that would have changed anytime soon. But if there's a door, there's always a way to open it, hopefully without the need to break it down.
A shame I can't roll for perception checks in real life.
It's such a silly thing to say out loud, but there's no amusement on my face. All I do is check, glancing the mirror from the study.
Though a sanity check would be more fitting right now, wouldn't it?
I mean, how long have I been down here searching for a switch of a hidden door in order to go find a dead girl, no less? It isn't only unreasonable, it's insane. At this point, they'll find me clawing on the walls, using my nails to try and see if there are any grooves or catches I might have missed. I'm surprised I haven't gone past the 10 minutes that was given to me and that I'm not being haunted or hauled out of here. I don't want to bank on the chance that I have more time, although I know it's... Ugh, I really shouldn't let these kinds of things bother me too much right now. If I don't continue looking, there's no point in me going down here. Dirt and rocks stick underneath my fingernails in search, but there. A section of the wall, and the size of my palm, and just as well hidden as a hollow wall, is a switch, or a button, rather.
Face it, Tigress. You've just hit the jackpot.
The excitement I feel at the discovery finds me pressing it without a second thought. But when the click echoes in the cellar and the hidden door creaks open, I stop. What should I do? I'm gonna go in! No time like the present, eh? I have to hurry, and I turn around when there's a crash. In my haste, I bumped into a mirror, making it fall to the ground and shatter into 100 pieces. And shit, I hope that it isn't an original piece. I don't think my insurance will be able to cover it. I could probably find an imitation to replace it, and... The door slammed shut behind me, and I nearly have a heart attack because of it. But when I see a much more visible lever on the side, I calm down and shake my head. On the other side of the passageway, an underground tunnel that has me mystified for a mere moment until I realize what it holds. Cells closed off by heavy iron bars on the sides. A general sense of death and decay lingers heavy, though the years should have taken away most, if not all, of the stench of the foul smell of humans and corpses alike being left to rot. The breeze most likely coming from the other end of the passage that goes through is to thank for that. If the place has been enclosed like a mausoleum, I imagine the odor would be fouler than it is by now.
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless these poor souls.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it, though the architecture of their time was magnificent. Human rights wasn't exactly a big thing back then. And if the Ermengarde mansion had a place like this hidden away, who knows what sorts of heinous acts were done down here. There is no time to dwell on it further, though. Not when a ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman, leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. I try to keep on running, no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going, even when I look back and see nothing of anyone, of her anymore, because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form when her bloodied mouth, and the painful sounds of her bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know that the thing is right behind me, a strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then, suddenly, I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by my hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle up until I'm thrown to the side like some kind of rag doll. I hit the ground on the side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me!
My body hurts and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
There's a flash of hope. She can help me, save me from that thing. But as I see her smile, the same one that thing have, I know that it isn't Lorraine. I am a fool to think so in the first place. It never could have been her to begin with. The real Lorraine is dead. She looms over me, backs me further into the cell that I was thrown in.
What are you?
Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with the same gruesome grin, it takes a step towards the cell. Towards me. I barely scrambled to my knees when the door to the cell slammed shut, and it's just standing there staring. Shouts for help ring out into the tunnels. But none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine, at the thought of being trapped down here. So then, where?
Help me, oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you going sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though! It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea. Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That's Juarez kid would panic.
Guys? What? Spit it out! Behind you!
There, in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life, and a video has played back on the screen. It was hard to even consider paying attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of help filled the cell, I just had to watch. And what I had seen, students judging by their St. Goretti uniforms, they were holding...
That letter!
And that thing, the woman, she... All right. We are now playing as Rebecca. we are going to end the episode off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.